Love isn't always loud. It doesn't always arrive with flowers, grand speeches, or perfectly timed I love yous. Sometimes, real love shows up in silence, in the unnoticed moments, the smallest gestures, and the subtle ways one person protects another. It's in those everyday choices that true care hides, especially when a man deeply values the woman he loves. When a man is truly invested in someone, he doesn't just show it through compliments or gifts. He shows it through presence, awareness, and quiet protection. He may not always say how much he cares, but he expresses it in ways that don't require words at all. He'll walk on the traffic side of the road, slow his pace to match yours, give you his jacket when you're cold, or check in to make sure you got home safely. These aren't dramatic acts. They're subtle signals that he's always thinking of you, even when he's not saying a thing. These protective gestures aren't about control. They're not about dominance or insecurity. They come from a place of respect, care, and attentiveness. They come from someone who's emotionally mature enough to understand that love is in the details, and that protecting you isn't about stepping in like a hero. It's about showing up, paying attention, and quietly making sure you feel safe, valued, and supported. What's truly beautiful is that many of these actions go unnoticed. You might not realize how often he watches your back in social settings, stays calm when you're overwhelmed, or shields you emotionally by honoring your boundaries. But they're there, soft, consistent, and meaningful. He's not doing it for credit or validation. He's doing it because your comfort and well-being matter to him more than anything else. In a world where people often look for validation through grand gestures and flashy words, a man who protects you in quiet, unspoken ways is rare and worth noticing. He doesn't just love you with his words. He loves you with his patience, his awareness, and his willingness to prioritize you even when no one's watching. This kind of protection is a deeper kind of love. It's not performative. It's instinctive. He notices when you're anxious. He remembers what makes you uncomfortable. He watches your surroundings when you're distracted. He steps in when someone crosses a line, not for drama, but because your peace of mind matters to him. And perhaps most telling of all, he'll put your safety before his own, without hesitation. These aren't just actions, they're messages. Messages that say, you're not alone, I've got you, I'm here. So today, let's talk about those moments, the quiet ones, the ones that don't get captured in selfies or social media posts, but live in the spaces where real love happens. Here are 15 ways a man protects you without saying a single word. And if you recognize even a few of these signs in someone, you may be loved more deeply than you even realize. 1. He walks on the roadside closest to traffic. When a man walks on the roadside closest to traffic, it may seem like a small gesture, but it carries a deep, instinctive meaning. Without saying a single word, he is putting himself in a position of risk to shield you from harm. It's not about bravado or showmanship. It's an unconscious act of protection that speaks volumes about how much he values your safety and well-being. This gesture goes back to old-fashioned chivalry, but even today, it remains relevant. He doesn't do it for praise or attention. In fact, you may not even notice it unless you pay close attention. He does it naturally, instinctively, as though your safety is always on his mind. It shows he's not just thinking about himself, he's thinking about both of you as a unit. And that means ensuring you're on the safer side, away from passing vehicles, unexpected splashes, or any kind of danger from the road. Such an act may seem subtle, but it carries emotional weight. It means he's present, aware, and quietly watching over you. He doesn't need to verbalize how much he cares. It's visible in these small choices he makes. When someone does this without hesitation or expecting anything in return, it reflects genuine care. These are the kind of actions that separate words from intent. Anyone can say they care, but it's in moments like this, when no one's watching and nothing is expected, that real love and protection reveal themselves. 2. He checks in to see if you got home safe. When he checks in to see if you got home safe, it's more than just a polite gesture. It's a quiet expression of care. He may not always say, "I love you," or shower you with grand romantic gestures, but a simple message like, "Did you get home okay?" speaks louder than most words ever could. It shows that even when you're not around, you're still on his mind. Your safety matters to him, and he needs to know you're all right to feel at ease himself. This kind of concern is deeply protective. It means he's mentally and emotionally invested in your well-being. He doesn't want to sleep or relax until he knows you're safe. Whether you've been out late, traveling, or even just walking home alone, that message checking in is a subtle way of saying, "You matter to me." He's not being controlling, he's being considerate, thoughtful, and attentive. You might not realize how meaningful this is until you compare it with someone who doesn't check in, someone who lets the moment pass without a second thought. The difference becomes clear. One is watching over you even from a distance, while the other isn't thinking beyond the moment. When he remembers to ask, even during a busy day or late at night, it's a quiet act of love. It tells you that no matter where you are, someone is hoping you're safe and won't rest easy until he knows you are. 3. He holds your hand in crowded places. When he holds your hand in crowded places, it may look like a simple romantic gesture, but at its core, it's an act of protection. In moments where the world feels chaotic, busy streets, packed trains, noisy events, his instinct is to keep you close. He doesn't want you to get lost, pushed, or overwhelmed. His hand becomes a quiet anchor, telling you, "I've got you. Stay with me." This gesture isn't about public display or claiming you in front of others. It's about making sure you feel safe and steady in environments where things can easily become disorienting. When a man reaches for your hand in a crowd, it shows he's aware of your surroundings and prioritizes your comfort. It's subtle but meaningful. He's scanning for potential discomfort, watching out for the people brushing too close, guiding you around obstacles, or pulling you gently through the rush. There's also an emotional protection in that simple grip. It's reassurance. It says you're not alone here. And even if the world is loud, rushed, or overwhelming, he's creating a space where you can feel secure. He's not letting go unless you do. Moments like these show how love doesn't always need grand declarations. Sometimes it just needs a steady hand in a moving crowd, a quiet signal that you are safe, valued, and looked after. And even though it seems like a small act, it speaks volumes about his intent to protect you without ever saying a word. He notices when you're uncomfortable. When he notices you're uncomfortable without you having to say a single word, it shows a deep level of attentiveness and emotional intelligence. He's not just looking at you, he's observing you. He pays attention to your body language, your expressions, your energy. He sees the shift in your eyes when something feels off, the tension in your shoulders when you're uneasy, or the forced smile you give in awkward situations. That awareness is rare, and it's a quiet kind of protection that doesn't draw attention to itself, but speaks volumes about how deeply he cares. He might step in to change the subject, move you away from a tense space, or stand closer if someone is making you uncomfortable. He won't always ask, "Are you okay?" out loud, but his actions will already be trying to make you feel better. He'll sense when a situation is too loud, too invasive, too draining, and he'll subtly do whatever he can to ease your discomfort, whether that means leaving early, offering support, or simply staying by your side. This kind of protection isn't physical, it's emotional and psychological. It means he's tuned into your feelings. You don't need to explain or pretend around him because he sees you. And when someone can recognize your discomfort without needing an explanation, that's when you know they truly care. It's not about rescuing you. It's about being present enough to know when you need someone beside you, even in silence. 5. He pays attention to who you're around. When he pays attention to who you're around, it's not about jealousy or control. It's about quiet protection. He notices the people in your environment, how they treat you, how they talk to you, and whether their energy is good for you. He watches from a distance, not to invade your space, but to understand who influences you, and whether you're surrounded by people who genuinely care about your well-being. This kind of man observes patterns. He'll remember the friend who talks over you, the colleague who gets a little too close, or the stranger whose presence makes you uneasy. Even if you don't say anything, he's watching closely. Not to judge, but to keep you safe in ways that even you might not be aware of. He may not always speak up immediately, but he files these observations away, so when it matters, he can support you or step in. It's also a way of silently protecting your emotional space. He knows that the people around you can affect your mood, confidence, and peace of mind. If someone consistently brings negativity into your life, he notices. If someone makes you light up, he sees that too. This awareness shows his investment in your happiness and safety, not just physically, but emotionally and socially as well. He's not trying to control your circle. He's simply making sure that your circle is safe, because love, when it's real, pays attention to more than just words. It pays attention to everything that surrounds you. 6. He steps in when someone disrespects you. When he steps in when someone disrespects you, it's a powerful sign of silent protection. He doesn't wait for you to speak up, and he doesn't look the other way. Instead, he recognizes the moment you're being treated unfairly, whether it's a rude comment, a mocking tone, or someone crossing a line, and he responds. He might not raise his voice or create a scene, but his presence becomes firm, his tone shifts, and his loyalty becomes unmistakable. In that moment, he's not just defending your dignity, he's setting a boundary for how others are allowed to treat you. He knows your worth, and he's unwilling to let it be diminished in front of him, no matter who the person is. It could be a stranger, a friend, or even a family member. If he senses disrespect, he makes it clear that it's not acceptable. This act speaks volumes about the way he sees you. You're not just someone he's dating or spending time with. You're someone he values, someone he wants to protect, especially when you're vulnerable. It doesn't matter whether the insult is small or subtle. If it makes you uncomfortable, it matters to him. And he doesn't do it for praise or to prove anything. He does it because standing up for you is second nature. In those moments, his love becomes visible, not in grand speeches or dramatic moves, but in a quiet, steady refusal to let anyone make you feel small. 7. He gives you his jacket when you're cold. When he gives you his jacket when you're cold, it may seem like a classic romantic move, but at its core, it's a pure and wordless form of protection. He sees your discomfort, the way you cross your arms, the slight shiver, the way you pull your sleeves down, and without waiting to be asked, he takes action. He doesn't hesitate. He simply takes off his jacket and wraps it around you, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. In that moment, he's saying, without speaking, your comfort matters more than mine. He'd rather be a little cold himself than watch you struggle with it. It's a small sacrifice, but it carries deep meaning. It shows that he's not just attentive, but selfless. He notices the details most people would miss. He anticipates your needs, even the ones you don't say out loud. This gesture is about more than physical warmth. It's about emotional reassurance. His jacket becomes a kind of shield, something that carries his scent, his presence, his care. It surrounds you, reminding you that you're not alone, that someone is looking out for you. And it's never done with expectation. He's not trying to impress or earn credit. He does it because his first instinct is to protect, to provide comfort. Even in something as simple as offering a jacket, he shows you that his love isn't just about words. It's about noticing the little things and stepping in quietly to make you feel safe, warm, and cared for. 8. He watches your back in social situations. When he watches your back in social situations, it's a quiet yet powerful display of protection. He's not hovering or dominating the space, but he's tuned in, aware of how you're navigating the room, who you're talking to, and how you're being treated. He pays attention to your body language, your tone, and the way people respond to you. If he senses that you're feeling awkward, ignored, or overwhelmed, he's ready to step in without making a scene. You may not even notice it happening. He might slide into a conversation you're stuck in, change the subject when things get uncomfortable, or simply stand close enough to give you a sense of safety and presence. He's not doing it for show. He's doing it because your comfort is quietly his priority, especially when you're in unfamiliar or potentially stressful settings. He sees things others might miss, someone talking over you, a dismissive look, or a subtle power play. And without drawing attention, he shifts the energy, supports you, and helps you feel seen and included. Whether you're with friends, strangers, or even co-workers, he's watching, not possessively, but protectively. It's not about control, it's about care. He wants you to feel confident and supported, like someone has your back no matter where you are. In spaces where people often fend for themselves, his presence is a soft shield. You don't need to ask for help. He's already there, reading the room and making sure you never feel alone in it. 9. He slows down his pace to match yours. When he slows down his pace to match yours, it's a small, quiet act that speaks volumes about how deeply he cares. Walking together might seem like a simple, everyday moment, but when he adjusts his steps, without you asking or even noticing, it shows he's paying attention. He's not in a rush to get ahead. He's not trying to lead or leave you behind. He's moving with you at your pace, because being beside you matters more than getting somewhere quickly. It's a form of silent protection rooted in presence. He notices when your steps are shorter, when you're tired, or when you're simply taking your time. He syncs his rhythm with yours, not because he has to, but because he wants to make sure you're walking through life together, not separately, not struggling to keep up. This simple gesture reflects patience, respect, and an unspoken sense of unity. He's telling you that you don't need to catch up. You're already enough right where you are. It's his way of saying, I'm with you fully. Whether you're walking down a quiet street or through a crowded market, he chooses to walk with you, not ahead of you. In a world where people often hurry past each other, someone who slows down just to stay close is quietly saying, you matter to me. It's one of those small things that may seem insignificant, but in love, it's everything. Because real care lives in the details, in the pace, and in the presence. 10. He stays calm when you're stressed. When you're stressed, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained, and he stays calm, it's one of the most grounding forms of silent protection he can offer. He doesn't match your chaos with more chaos. He doesn't panic when you do. Instead, he becomes steady, like an anchor in the middle of your storm. His calmness doesn't dismiss your feelings. It holds space for them. He listens. He stays present. And even if he doesn't have all the answers, his energy quietly tells you, you're not alone in this. This calm presence is incredibly powerful because stress can make you feel scattered and vulnerable. In those moments, Someone who remains patient, collected, and focused gives you something to lean on. He doesn't rush you to calm down or tell you to move on. He allows you to feel what you're feeling while grounding you with his stability. Sometimes, all he does is sit beside you or gently hold your hand. But that alone helps you breathe a little easier. He protects your emotional space by not adding pressure, judgment, or urgency. He creates a safe zone where you can unravel, cry, or vent, knowing that he won't flinch or fold under the weight of your emotions. That calm energy becomes a shield, absorbing the intensity and reflecting back peace. Love isn't just about sharing happy moments. It's also about who stands steady when everything else feels like it's falling apart. When he stays calm in your stress, he's silently saying, "I've got you. You're safe with me." 11. He remembers things that make you anxious. When he remembers the things that make you anxious, it's one of the most thoughtful and protective things he can do, because it means he truly listens, not just to your words, but to the feelings behind them. Whether you've mentioned your fear of crowded spaces, your discomfort with certain people, or your unease during late-night drives, he takes note, not for convenience, but out of genuine care. You don't have to keep repeating yourself, because he already remembers. He doesn't tease you about your fears, and he doesn't dismiss them as overthinking. Instead, he subtly adjusts his actions to make sure you don't have to face those triggers alone, or at all. If you hate loud parties, he won't push you to go. If certain situations make you nervous, he'll either avoid them or hold your hand through them without making a big deal. This kind of protection doesn't come with a speech. It comes in the form of awareness, of quiet choices made in your favor. He anticipates how a situation might affect you and often acts before you even have to ask. And in doing so, he shows that your peace matters to him. You may never hear him say, "I'm doing this because I know it makes you anxious." But his behavior will say it clearly. Protecting your heart means understanding what shakes it and choosing again and again to help you feel steady. That kind of memory isn't about being thoughtful. It's about love paying attention. 12. He keeps his phone away when you're talking. When he keeps his phone away while you're talking, it may seem like a small gesture in today's distracted world, but it carries powerful meaning. In a time where notifications, scrolling, and constant digital noise are the norm, choosing to put the phone down is a deliberate act of presence, and presence is a form of protection. It tells you that in that moment, you are more important than anything happening on that screen. He's not just hearing you, he's truly listening. By putting away distractions, he's creating space where your voice matters, where your feelings are fully received. He's making it clear that he values your words, even if they're about something small or mundane. You don't have to fight for his attention. You already have it. This quiet focus offers emotional security. It reassures you that what you say isn't just background noise. It also protects your connection, because relationships are built in these subtle moments of undivided attention. Moments where you feel seen, heard, and prioritized without having to ask for it. There's also a kind of respect in this act. He's choosing to be in the moment with you, not half in, not distracted. It says, "You matter enough to deserve all of me right now." And in a world full of distractions, that kind of focus isn't just rare, it's intimate. It's his way of silently saying, "I'm here, I'm listening, and I won't let anything take me away from this moment with you." 13. He quietly supports your boundaries. When he quietly supports your boundaries, it's a powerful sign of respect and protection without needing recognition. He doesn't challenge your limits, guilt you into bending them, or question why they exist. Instead, he listens, understands, and honors them, even when it's inconvenient for him. even when no one else is watching. Whether your boundaries are about time, space, emotional needs, or physical comfort, he accepts them with grace, not resistance. He doesn't make a big show of it. He doesn't say, "Look how supportive I'm being." He simply adjusts his behavior to align with what makes you feel safe, valued, and in control of your own experience. If you need space after a long day, he gives it without pouting. If there are topics that make you uncomfortable, he steers away without needing to be reminded. If you've said no to something, he doesn't try to change your mind. He accepts it and moves on, because your no matters as much as your yes. This quiet support creates a safe emotional environment. It tells you that you're not just heard, you're respected. It tells you that your boundaries won't cost you his affection. And in a world where so many people push limits to get their way, someone who honors yours is protecting more than your comfort. He's protecting your self-worth. It's in that quiet, unwavering respect where true care lives. Not loud, not showy, just steady, grounded, and deeply considerate. 14. He stays alert in unfamiliar places. When he stays alert in unfamiliar places, it's not about being paranoid. It's about being quietly protective. Whether you're walking through a new neighborhood, entering a crowded venue, or navigating a place you've never been before, his instincts shift. He becomes more observant, more present, and more aware of his surroundings, not for himself alone, but for you. He notices exits, watches who's nearby, and stays just a step more attentive than usual. You might not even realize it. He's still holding your hand, still talking to you, still making you laugh. But his eyes are scanning the room. His body language subtly shifts. He may walk slightly in front of you, position himself on the outer edge, or slow down his steps just to make sure you're safe and comfortable. This is his way of saying, "I've got you," without needing to say a word. It's in unfamiliar spaces where discomfort can creep in, especially when things feel unpredictable or overwhelming. But his alertness creates a sense of safety. You feel more relaxed because you know he's already watching out for anything that might go wrong. He won't let you walk into something blindly. He's already a few steps ahead, quietly shielding you. It's a subtle form of love, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. In new and uncertain situations, his calm alertness becomes your quiet armor. And that, more than anything, shows that he's not just present, he's actively, protectively with you. 15. He puts your safety above his own. When he puts your safety above his own, it's one of the most selfless and powerful expressions of love, and he does it without expecting thanks or recognition. In moments where something feels off, risky, or even dangerous, his first instinct isn't to shield himself, it's to shield you. Whether it's crossing a busy street, walking through a dark area, or standing between you and a tense situation, his body moves before his words do. He steps forward, not because he's trying to be a hero, but because you matter more in that instant than anything else, even himself. It's not just about physical danger. Sometimes it's emotional too. He'll take the harder path if it means sparing you pain. He'll stay calm in chaos to keep you grounded. He'll sacrifice convenience, comfort, or even pride just to ensure that you're okay. And he'll do it so naturally, so quietly, that you might not even realize what he gave up until much later. This kind of love isn't loud. It's not about grand gestures or public declarations. It's about quiet choices made in real time, often unnoticed. It's about the way he shifts his body slightly in front of yours in a crowd, how he walks you to your door even when he's tired, how he'll drive the long way home if it means avoiding anything that could make you feel unsafe. It's in those moments, the unspoken ones, where love reveals its truest form. Protective, steady, and always putting your well-being first.